What makes a top rapist? As long as you understand this movie, maybe you can mention this title. With suspicion, I opened the movie reluctantly, but the further I got, the more I realized that something was wrong, because this movie is far from as simple as I thought. At that time, I held a non-learning attitude, but by the truth of the matter, what is it that is so fascinating? Finally, it made me understand a truth. It turned out that a top strategist, in the end, it's all about the body, to raise the flag to win or lose. The Son of Heaven's movie from more than 20 years ago. What is the life of David Gore? I was shocked by his ending. A renowned university professor of philosophy, suddenly reduced to becoming a death row inmate accused of raping and murdering a friend. However, for a full 6 years, Gore never mentioned a defense, more reluctant to accept any interviews. All the evidence points to his guilt. His DNA was also found in his friend's body. In the face of such accusations, is he really powerless? However, everything changes. But it started happening 4 days before the execution. Al Gore hired a lawyer for $500,000, sold the newspaper the opportunity to interview himself. He also appointed the only person to interview him, Bessie. Although Al Gore wants to retract his confession because he is not the murderer, but at this moment, no one knows what his true intentions will be. And yet the newspaper was more than willing to pay $500,000 because a death row inmate is about to be executed. Is it the last struggle before death? Is there some hidden secret? No matter what point is known to the public, the newspaper can make a lot of money. After receiving this task, Bessie took the assistant on a journey to the death row. Prison Road. Witness. All the evidence points to Al Gore's guilt, but the assistant was always skeptical. Such a clever man, why leave an extremely clumsy scene? Whether it's Gore's family or career, no one will believe. People who have it all do things like this. The two planned to take a break in the service area, but not long after the car stopped, a pickup truck also slowly came to a stop. The driver in the pickup truck, just watching the every move of the two. Wait until the two are confused. The pickup truck is also moving slowly, but he gave the two a puzzling look. Fortunately, the two of them arrived the next day. Arrived at the prison where Gore is being held without a hitch. At the same time, Gore's lawyer was also visiting him. The lawyer told Bessie, over the next 3 days, only 2 hours of interview time per day. End of interview. And that was the beginning of Al Gore's execution. At the request of Al Gore, the lawyer called his assistant, leaving Bessie alone for the interview. Now under the facade of Al Gore's calm as water, but the waves are surging. Right now Bessie just wants to hurry up and end this interview with this murderous demon. But he wanted to know more. Why did Al Gore designate himself whom he had never met? Bessie at that time. There's no way of knowing what Gall meant by that. Al Gore did. The unbearable past that has been buried in the dust for many years. Al Gore, 6 years ago. I'm a university philosophy professor. But there is a female student who is often late. Found him alone. The student's goal was simple, is to let Al give him a chance to pass the exam. For this reason, the female students also expressed their willingness to do any, facing naked temptation. Al Gore, who is a teacher, shows his heart like still water, a decisive refusal. It also created a sense of shame for the female students. Gore found his friend Constance in a hurry. Both of them have another identity. That's the members of the Anti-Death Penalty Guild. They have always believed, death under the law. It doesn't reduce evil. One more life will be lost to the world. They are also preparing for this. On TV, arguing with the governor about the death penalty. Al Gore was at a party that night. I wanted to relax the recent melancholy. However, female students also appeared at the party, and his target tonight is Al Gore. I don't know why. Girl was expelled from school, and he puts the credit on Al Gore. When a drunk Al Gore comes to the bathroom, the female students who took the opportunity also came here, locked the door. Despite Al Gore's anticipation of what would happen, try to stop, but Pauline was already close at hand. Alcohol finally brought Gore down, after a long 10 seconds. Now Pauline's purpose has also been achieved. The next day, Al Gore was discussing the debate with Constance. Al Gore seems absent-minded, because he always had a bad feeling in his heart, facing the only best friend. Gore chose to tell Constance what happened last night. Al Gore's behavior disgusted Constance. The discussion between the two also ended hastily. Al Gore participated in the debate with the governor. If this debate is lost, then all their previous efforts will fall short. The governor's reasons for insisting on the death penalty are simple and straightforward. Life for life. It makes them afraid. But Al Gore insisted. A vicious murderer. In fact, he is not afraid of the death penalty. And the death penalty has been in place for so long. The homicide rate is still not decreasing. Gore's remarks set the governor and I apart, because it's an eye for an eye. Tit for tat is a person. The best guarantee of fairness in maintaining one's own life. Since the person is dead, then someone should uphold the law and uphold justice. Get justice for the deceased. But Al Gore also took out the words of the Hindu god Gandhi, that is blind tolerance, and caused the other person to die of shame. The governor wanted to laugh it off, but unexpectedly, this is also one of the handles in Gore's hands. The ironclad truth can only be explained by the governor. It's just the gibberish of adolescence. The words of the devil of the empire instantly made the governor lose his sense. It gives Al the upper hand. Emotions running high like hot salt overwhelmed the governor. Finally had to break the jar. Said as long as Al Gore could find anyone, people executed this week for miscarriage of justice. Then he immediately introduced a bill to abolish the death penalty. penalty. That's what the governor said. Let the debate on the table, and that has to be translated into action. But at this moment, Al Gore knows those who were executed did deserve it, and this debate, it ended with the governor's victory. But just as Gore and Constance were upset, the local police department also found Gore. The reason is that someone accused him of rape, and the person who accused him was the schoolgirl Pauline. Ironclad evidence. Let Al Gore argue. But here's the weird thing, Pauline later dropped the appeal. People also disappeared and left here. But let everyone believe, Al Gore raped his own student. It shattered the Gore family. Job insecurity. But just as Gore was arrested for another rape and murder, the first year after imprisonment, he received a letter from Pauline. The first day of the interview ended in such a hurry. What Bessie told Al Gore, didn't believe it. But I didn't find any suspicious flaws either, and he had no idea what Al Gore was up to. But what hasn't changed is, I firmly believe, Al Gore is the rapist. Just as the two were driving to the hotel, didn't notice, the pickup truck parked in the dark. The next day before the interview, the two arrive at the scene of Gore's rape and murder of a friend, and this place has already been rented out. The site was secured for paid tours. The crime scene is intact. From the scene, it was a tripod that was videotaped at the time of the crime. However, since the case was solved, the police never found it. The videotape recorded at that time. Everybody thought it had to be hidden by Al Gore. After all, perverted killers have peculiar habits. The modus operandi of this case can be described as brutal, extreme. Gore handcuffs the naked Constance, then he taped his mouth shut. Finally, he wrapped a plastic bag around Constance's head. He suffocated. However, Cole was wearing rubber gloves throughout the crime, so no fingerprints were left at the scene. The most haunting thing about this case is that the key to the handcuffs was found in the victim's belly. You can imagine how desperate Constance was at that time. Obviously, the hope of life actually lies in oneself, but now it seems so out of reach. Until Constance's tragic death was discovered by checking the water meter, Al Gore's crimes became public. Just as the two were eating, Bessie found the pickup truck again. Seeing two people discovered, the cowboy drove away decisively. Although Bessie's heart is concerned at this time, but no clue to the inexplicable cowboy. According to the agreed time, Bessie meets Gore for the second time. How Constance died. Al Gore said, it's an extremely obscure MO. And once, I published this technique myself in a book, so he had reason to suspect. Someone took the opportunity to frame him, and for a tripod without fingerprints. Apparently someone also wiped off their fingerprints after placing them. After committing the crime, he deliberately stayed here to deter Gore. And the reason is very simple. Just wait for Golfer. Let it know the truth of what happened. It's actually in some unknown place. Regarding Gore's remarks, Bessie thinks, it's just his presumption to clear his name. Bessie was speechless. He can't imagine. Why did Al place so much trust in him? After Pauline dropped the charges against Gore, Al Gore got out of jail. But everything about him, things have changed dramatically. The wife took the son to her parents' home in Spain. He doesn't know at this moment, a plaything left to him by his son, a puppy, will become his only emotional sustenance. Al Gore, after going back to school, received a divorce agreement from his wife. Meanwhile, Constance also brought some unfortunate news. School leaders unanimously decided to fire Al Gore, and this is really unfortunate. The wife also asked someone to sell the house. Al Gore was never convicted, but almost everyone believes in his crimes. Therefore, no company wanted to hire Gore. This experience made Al go crazy. Drunk him, always making inappropriate remarks on the street. They shouted out, it's better to replace the death penalty with a fine. As long as you have the ability to pay the appropriate fine, then you will have a chance to continue living. Lost all the Gore, and I started drinking unconsciously, living in a world of alcohol every day. The lawyer informed him, if you want to visit your son, then the prerequisite are that you must quit drinking successfully. Otherwise, I will never see my son again. To see my son, Gore attended a local AA meeting. Al Gore, after his sobriety, went to Constance. The attitude of seeing friends regain their lives. At this moment, Constance also seemed particularly happy. Soon after, Al Gore is back. Trade unions opposed to the death penalty, but his rejoining was opposed by the leadership. Because there are stereotypes, then it is very likely that you will not be able to get rid of it for life. Leaders' words, undoubtedly, Al Gore was on the verge of getting on with his life, pushed into the endless muddy land again. Night, a drunken Gore calls his wife again. The phone was hung up mercilessly. Accumulated anger, finally vented at this moment. After sober, Gore found Constance again. But now Constance was pale, and Al came in and started complaining about himself. Everything you experience. Constance passed out, although Constance was rushed to the hospital in time. But afterwards, Al Gore got this incredible information. It turned out that Constance was a leukemia patient. Constance's illness has left Al Gore with a mixed bag of emotions. As a close friend, he blamed himself so much. You're angry about Constance's cover-up. I feel pathetic and sad when I think about it. A man who resists death. I didn't expect it. The first will die under the sickle wielded by the god of death. Interview the next day. Also passed quickly in the Gore account. Now, there's not much time left for Bessie to unearth the truth. However, after meeting the assistant found an important piece of information. The lawyer Al Gore hired once because at the sentencing stage, there have been serious mistakes, received multiple warnings. Al Gore could have had his sentence commuted. At the same time, there are top lawyers who are willing to defend Gore for free, but for some reason, Gore anyway, also insists that this lawyer defend him. The result is obvious. That night, the two successfully obtained the newspaper office, $500,000 cash to be paid to Gore. But just as Bessie was about to go back to her hotel room, but found that the door was actually opened, the assistant suspected that maybe the cleaner forgot to turn it off. However, it was blocked with tape in the crack of the door. Obviously, this couldn't have been done by the hotel staff. Bessie carefully pushed open the door. There is a videotape hanging in the room. Videotape that suddenly appeared. Make things more complicated, Bessie cautiously went to the bathroom. However, after turning on the lights, nothing abnormal was found. Vicky, wow, what Zach? That could be Prince. What puzzles people is, this tape actually points to Bessie. So this shows that, all their previous actions, it's under the control of others. And in the videotape, is it the video that was lost during the crime? However, the content in the picture. But it made the hearts of the two tremble. The woman in the video is completely naked. They were tied down. And she is Constance. At this time, Constance is still struggling. Until a few minutes later, Constance stopped struggling completely. And that's where the recording ends. But there is no Gore in the picture. Inhumane modus operandi. Creeps out Bessie as a woman. At the same time, Constance suffered such an encounter. And very sad. And on day 3, they rethought the case. Who was responsible for the deliberate appearance of the videotape? Was it Al Gore's instructions or someone else's? This moment make this rape and murder case even more complex. According to Gore's denial that he is a murderer, the assistant suspected that Al might have been set up. After all, Al Gore's position against the death penalty will allow him to be framed by people who disagree. It's hard to understand. Why did Al Gore take action a few years later, about to be executed, to find a way to prove his innocence? Following the assistant's guess, Bessie thinks there might be something else going on, assuming Al Gore wasn't the murderer. So, the tape may have been sent by the real rapist and murderer, and the reason why he chose to take it out before Al Gore died. The goal is simple. That's to kill chickens and warn monkeys. Make those who advocate the abolition of the death penalty laughable. After all, in Texas, no one has ever been sentenced to death, a precedent for rebirth. Even if this video is used well, we can prove that Al Gore didn't kill Constance. But in the distance, Gore's execution is only a dozen hours away. Verifying all of this is almost impossible. Maybe the murderer took a fancy to that. That's why the videotape was released at this crucial point, just to vent my anger. It is a provocation to those who oppose the death penalty. The clock is ticking. They must excavate as soon as possible. What is the truth? But on the way, the pickup truck showed up again. Just when the two were about to stop and ask, the pickup truck suddenly turned the other way. Bessie showed the content of the video to the lawyer. Although the content is shocking, but it doesn't show. The woman in the video is Constance. After all, the crime scene where Constance died, it has been used as a playground. Then anyone can be at the crime scene. Restore the scene of Constance being killed at that time. And the lawyer also reminded, in the eyes of the judge, this tape, likely to be considered. Gore ordered Bessie to fake it. However, just as Bessie left here, but accidentally found, the cowboy in that pickup truck is also here. Could it be that this cowboy and lawyer? What else is involved? Bessie quickly informed the assistant of the situation, and let him do it as soon as possible. Investigate the identity of the cowboy, and he has to go to prison to find Al Gore. Due to the cowboy's sudden appearance at the lawyer's office, Bessie firmly believes Al Gore must be hiding something from him. Gore told Bessie, and he knew the cowboy, and they belong to an organization that opposes the death penalty. But, cowboy testified against Gore in court. Al Gore is obviously an alcoholic, but the cowboy proved it in court. Al Gore never drank too much. Al Gore would have committed a crime after drinking too much. Will get a reduced sentence. But the cowboy's testimony got Gore directly sentenced to death. Punishment. Bessie suspects that the cowboy did it on purpose. Maybe Al Gore and Constance got too close. Make the cowboy who has a crush on Constance jealous. But Gore says, he and Constance have only the purest friendship. As a regular spokesperson against the death penalty, Constance's impassioned speech, it always has a large number of believers.